I've always been interested to know how one gets a job with Joe Papp.
Oh, I was interested too because I hadn't worked for him. I graduated Juilliard in 1974, and the only thing I ever did for Joe Papp was a lady in waiting, and waiting and waiting and waiting. That's what I call it. In Hamlet with Stacy Keach, but I had never gotten a job at the Public Theater. I don't know how. I guess I wanted to play Helena in Midsummer so badly that I set my sights for it early on. When I heard they were doing it, even before I got called for an audition, I started reading the play over and over and over. And when I went in and auditioned, I said to myself, I'm not going to try and portray a character. What I'm going to do is get in touch with the language and just be as true as I can to what she's saying and what the images are and what the meaning is. And it was amazing how much feeling came for the character and for the situation by just absolutely concentrating with a vengeance on the words. And I think that is a goodly part of doing Shakespeare, is absolutely having a love affair with the text. It'll just take you so many places if you commit yourself with your head and your heart to the words. I found the challenge of doing Helena was that, although she's funny and wonderful, she gets a bit redundant because she's always, if you know the part, she's always talking about how, why won't anybody love me? I'm so ugly. Ooh. And one has a sense that the energy's going in. She can seem ponderous and depressing. So I tried to think of her as a woman who was, rather than a depressing or neurotic or ponderous character, but someone who was intensely curious about her own life and her own fate. Someone who was always in a state of wonder. Even when she was in pain, she was marveling at it. You know, my God, look at this. I thought it was difficult back then. Now it's really difficult. And when I was performing in the part, I was reading a book by Rilke, the poet Rilke, his Letters on Love, which is a beautiful piece of writing. And one of the remarks that he makes is, it's a simple statement. It's, live the questions. In your life, you must learn to live the questions, not the answers. And it was one of the best pieces of acting advice I've ever read, because in fact, when you go on stage, you don't know what your fate is. You always have to be in a state of wonder at what is going to happen and pursuing rather than assuming that you know. So it was a great experience for me. I learned a lot in that 6 weeks that we rehearsed and in the 8 weeks that we played it.